Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Seiben bringing you another MTG Top 5 list. With everyone's minds focused on Magic Origins and its flippy-dippy planeswalkers, we mustn't forget that the Battle for Zendikar looms just over the horizon. While flip planeswalkers are indeed very cool, today I want to look at the top 5 mechanics from the original Zendikar block that we all want to see in Battle for Zendikar. Number 5. Coming in at number 5 is the ability known as Level Up. We all remember Level Up cards, the fondness we felt towards our little creatures as we watched them grow right in front of our eyes. Level Up cards were special in that they came in their own card formats, kind of like miniature planeswalkers almost. You could pay their level up cost, put a level counter on them, and as they grew, they gained new abilities, strength, and toughness. Some of these cards were just wastes of mana, but some others were just amazing in Standard. Look at the Kerrigan Dragon Lord for example. Then we had cards like Student of Warfare and Transcendent Master. Even cards like Coral Helm Commander made a splash in Legacy decks. It just goes to show you the true value leveling up a card could hold. Level up cards just added a little extra to the game, which was starting to get kind of old with its static mechanics. For the first time, it really felt as if we could potentially customize our cards we had in play. Although it wasn't a flawless mechanic, I would certainly love to see it return for the Battle of Zendikar. Number 4. At number 4 we have Totem Armor. Totem Armor is found on aura spells and were enchantments in a sense. You played them on creatures and it gave them a buff of some kind, either straight stats buff or other effects. The cool thing about Totem Armors though was it acted like a free regeneration on a creature. You see, when a creature with Totem Armor when it dies, you destroy the Totem Armor rather than the creature. So yeah, the creature would lose the enchanted buff, but it would spare its life. It's basically as if the creature itself had regeneration. Totem Armors, or Umbras as they were commonly called, came in a variety of costs ranging from cheap 1 manas to much more expensive spells. I personally loved playing with the cheap armors because it allowed for an easy rescuing of important creatures. You had the Spider Umbra, giving +1/+1 in reach, the Hyena Umbra, giving +1/+1 in first strike, and the always annoying Eel Umbra with flash. All these cards were cheap and effective. You could also go aura crazy with the Umbra Mystic, causing all your aura spells to also have the Totem Armor. It may not have been the most powerful mechanic, but I have fond memories of it and would love to see it make its way into Battle for Zendikar. Number 3. Coming in at number 3, you've activated my Trap card. Trap cards are number 3 on my list, and again, it's because I had a lot of fun with them personally. They may not have been super strong, but they still defined the block when I played it. Trap cards are simply just instant or sorcery spells which have a lower alternate cost if a condition was met prior to playing it. So basically these spells would be a little expensive for what they do, but if a condition was met, you could play it on an insanely cheap curve. Some notable trap cards were Archive Trap, Rune Flare Trap, and the amazingly comborific Mindbreak Trap. A lot of my friends thought this made the game too much like Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, you know, that game has trap cards too. But this mechanic was nothing like the trap cards found in Yu-Gi-Oh! And quite frankly, I enjoyed them. A lot of people are probably going to find this pick of mine to be a little debatable, but if it were up to me, I'd have trap cards in Battle for Zendikar. Number 2. At second place on this list is Allies. Allies were a new form of tribe basically, but it acted more like a mechanic because it triggered stuff. A creature who was an ally would always have some kind of synergy with other allies, which kinda made them like the new slivers. Many allies simply gained +1/+1 counters for every other ally you'd play, but others were much more complex. You had allies with evasion, you had allies giving you protection from colors, or haste, or lifelink, the list goes on and on. Some were even dirt cheap, like Hada Freeblade, making this type of deck very aggressive in Standard. Allies allowed for a new type of tribal deck, one which wasn't super specific on what colors it would go. Elves were green, goblins were red, but allies were literally every color. Although some allies were better in one color than another, it was still cool to think of a 5-color tribal deck. I also think allies could make a lore-specific return in Battle for Zendikar. I mean, something has to bound these guys together to beat the Eldrazi. Before I reveal my number 1 Zendikar mechanic I want to see return in Battle for Zendikar, let's look at a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Making it to the top of my Zendikar wishlist is Landfall. This mechanic literally defined the block and was one of the most powerful mechanics in MTG. Landfall was typically on creatures, and it triggered an ability of that creature whenever a land came into play under your control. This was just so Zendikar to me. A world lush with mana, giving creatures powerful abilities which would react when you play a land? It's just perfect. Look at some of the best landfall creatures from this block. They're just insane. Lotus Cobra was one of my first pulls from the set, and it's just an amazing mana dork on steroids. While Bloodghast is a zombie who still sees legacy play to this day. This mechanic was made even better with Zendikar's fetch lands, allowing you to set up landfall combos and guarantee their effects. Landfall also serves a really interesting lore significance, which I don't feel happens very often. Zendikar is a plane lush with mana, so having an ability which reads off that was just really special to me. It was a strong ability that told the story of the plane as you were destroying your opponent with it, which makes it my most wanted mechanic to make a return in Battle for Zendikar. So there you go guys, my top 5 mechanics I want to see return in Battle for Zendikar. What other mechanics would you rather see return with Zendikar? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this list, please give it a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really goes a long way in supporting future content. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.